Hi. In this, we're going to continue lesson 4, and what we're going to talk about now is how we take a fraction to a decimal and finally to a percent. So let's take a look at a number that most of us have seen, and that is 1/2. And we said that as a decimal, it's 0.5, and many of us are aware that 1/2 is the same as 50%. And so the question becomes, is how do we take what we know and make it so that it works for any number that we're given? So let's take a look. The first part is that percent, it comes from the Latin per, means of, and cent means 100. And so when you talk about a percent, it means of 100 or parts of 100. For example, 100 cents. Whoops. Sorry about that. 100 cents is $1, which is the base unit of currency here in the United States. And the same thing applies, is that if you have, we say that 100% is equal to, very simply, just the number 1. Okay, so here's how this works. What we do is to turn a fraction to a decimal, to a percent, is we take 1/2, for example. And we know that this is 1 divided by 2. And we know that that gives us the fraction of 0.5. Now, we can multiply by 1 because, we could multiply this by 1 and it doesn't change the problem. In the same way, we can multiply it by 100%. And that doesn't change the problem either. So this becomes 100 times 0.5. That's going to, well, let's try that. Let's go to our calculator here. Here's Good Grapher. If we take 0.5 and we multiply it by 100, we come up with 50. So we return to our, we return, and we know that the 100 times the 0.5, that turns it 5 to a 50, but we keep the units of the percentage, and so we can write it as 50%. All right, let's try a fraction like this one. Let's return to our fraction from above, 2/11. And we said that this is the same as 0. And then the pattern of the 1/8 just repeated forever. So I'm going to write a few of them, and then we'll just write the 1/8 out here like this. And then let's do this. Let's round, or write 2/11 as a percent, and let's do this. Let's rounded to the nearest. Let's do this. How about a 1/10 of a percent? 1/10 of a percent. So not rounded to the nearest 1/10, but 1/10 of a percent. So the easiest way I find to do this is first change 2/11 to a percentage and then round it to the nearest percent. So let's try this. So if I take 2/11, that would mean I would take the number 2 and I would divide it by 11, and that would give me my decimal of 0.1818 repeating, and this goes on forever. But now we're going to multiply that by the number 1. But that 1 is the same as 100%. So let's try this. Let's go back to our Good Grapher, and we're going to take 2. We're going to divide it by 11, and we're going to see for reasons why. I'm going to put parentheses, for reasons we'll see later. I'm going to put parentheses around the 2 11s, and then let's multiply that by 100 and see what happens. And look at what we get. We have 18.181818, and so on. And so what we can do now is we want to round that. So let's go back to our work. And this gives me, let's see, 18 point, and then the 1/8 repeat, just goes on and on and on. And now they have a percentage sign. So now that we have the percentage in here, notice that this 1 right here, that is the 1/10 of a percent. So the rule stays the same. If we want to round to the 1/10 of a percent, we look to the number immediately to the right. It's an 8, and so because it's an 8, we're going to round the 1 up 1 unit. So this becomes 18.2%. And that is how you take and you write a fraction first to a decimal, the decimal to a percentage. Hope that helps, and thanks for watching.